Wow, it's pretty nasty out here today, huh, guys? Well, Ed, we need to be grateful about days like today. Pretty soon, our air is gonna be very smoky. Yep, California is gonna ignite again soon and ruin our August again. Well, the fires may get worse, but California's actually been burning for quite a while because the fire season in California usually starts around May and it can go all the way through November. Wildfires can actually happen at any time in California, funny enough. So the worst smoke from our state mostly comes from Oregon, British Columbia and Canada, and our own state of Washington. I mean, maybe it isn't all California's fault, but wildfires in general are just ruining our summers. Is there anything we can even do about it? Well, there are prescribed burns. Washington State just started doing them in 2021. I mean, yeah, but those have been happening in other states for years, and how much have they really done? Yeah, man. What even is a prescribed burn? Well, in a nutshell, it's pretty much when you just do a controlled burn of some overgrown land. What? Why would we do that? You see, before we started trying to prevent fires from happening, smaller fires happened periodically, leading to a more wildfire-resistant ecosystem. However, out here in the Pacific Northwest, there's been nothing but fire suppression for around a century, and this leads to lots of overgrowth and a host of ecological problems. What sort of ecological problems? Well, diseased trees and insect infestation is more common for one now, and some trees like white pine and aspen are diminishing because they actually need fire to regenerate. And of course, all the easy to ignite stuff is just all over the place now, and this just leads to an increased risk in wildfires. And why don't we just let it burn like we used to back in the old days? Well, that would just be irresponsible. The century of wildfire suppression it already happened. We can't just let wildfires happen. That would be really bad. Instead, we need to do prescribed burns in which the controlled burns are in the right condition, making sure that these fires don't get too out of hand. Well, did you know that prescribed burns have existed in California for many years? Like the Native Americans, they've been burned the land for way before white settlers even came over there. And then it became enacted into law that prescribed burns were allowed in California way back in 1978. But look at all the fires that are over there now. How much has it really stopped? Well, I think that prescribed burns will really help here. Even in California, it'll really help. But the century of fire suppression has left a lot of land vulnerable to wildfires, and this program unfortunately can't really keep up quite yet, and because of the Federal Clean Air Act has made the process for approving prescribed burns really, really tedious, and it's just hard for the programs to keep up. Don't you think those regulations are there for a reason? Well, yeah, but this is a really important issue, and prescribed burns are shown to be better for air quality when compared to areas that don't have those controlled burns.
Yeah, but is it really beneficial to have constant smoke emissions? Fires are already blazing in the summers, yet prescribed burns are conducted in the off-season. How will this impact neighboring communities? And what about firefighters who are now routinely exposed to wildfire smoke?
We can't only focus on the neighboring communities when we're putting everyone else at risk from wildfires. Besides, it is shown that prescribed burns lead to lower levels of toxic chemicals like particulate matter 2.5 in places where prescribed burns happen when compared to places which they are not. Really, let's talk about PM 2.5. Let's talk about all the firefighters who gets exposed to PM 2.5. Let's talk about all the firefighters who now have scheduled exposure to PM 2.5. I mean, that's how the world works. Wildfire management needs to happen, and fortunately, someone's got to do it. Do you know what's in wildfire smoke? And I mean, all wildfire smoke? There's over 80 different compounds, and some of them are really nasty. Carbon monoxide, methanol, formaldehyde, and so much more. And a lot of it's not even research. And let's talk more specifically about PM 2.5, fine particulate matter. Really tiny stuff, about 20 to 30 times smaller than a human hair, and that stuff gets really deep in anyone's lungs. But it'll be so much worse for anyone who is constantly exposed or has a pre-existing condition, like asthma, or like any lung condition. And did you know that like fires count for like 37% of all fine particulate matter in the atmosphere, and that wildfires come up for half of that number alone? Come on, why are we acting like we can change what's in smoke? Smoke is smoke, and it'll come from any form of fire. Saying prescribed burns are bad because smoke is bad is just such a short-sighted statement. Y'all care too much. I mean, like, what's the point in even trying to stop wildfires from happening so much anyways? Because I'm pretty sure, like, 85 to 90% of wildfires are started by humans anyways, and who's to stop that?
That's why.
Seriously, guys, do you not remember anything that I taught you?
Only you can prevent forest fires?
Yes, we all want our summers to go back to the way they were. The only way we can do that is by doing what we can to prevent forest fires.
I mean, like, why tell us? We didn't start any wildfires. Hey, don't disrespect Smokey.
You guys seem to really care. And there's a lot we can do when we care.
Yeah, I do care. I want our forests to thrive the way nature intended them to. I want our ecosystem to go back to the way it was before we started suppressing all fire. Well, nature didn't intend for firefighters to intentionally light fires and needlessly add to the air pollution. Hey, stop arguing in front of Smokey.
Unfortunately, I don't have all the answers for you. Fire science is quite uncertain as of today, leading to a lack of concrete evidence. For example, viewpoints on prescribed burns vary greatly. Proponents advocating for biodiversity, and opponents arguing that we are just adding to smoke in the atmosphere with little impact on air quality. To do this, we must advocate for more research on wildfire prevention. Remember that only you can prevent forest fires.